All right, we are back, and thanks again for listening to Let's Talk About It with Xavier Fox. And I am really excited to have my girl Nicole on here, and we are about to discuss what's hot. Woo!
Yes.
Hey, girl,
Hey, X.
how you be?
I'm fine. I'm recovering from the weekend. It was really crazy yesterday.
Oh, what'd you do yesterday?
So yesterday, I had planned to like just sleep in and chill because Saturday, a really good girlfriend of mine, she got a job in Raleigh, North Carolina. So she's moving. So
Oh,
I helped me and another friend, we helped plan like a going away, for her family and friends at one of those apartment clubhouses.
uh-huh.
So I was like running around like a crazy person Saturday, getting all this stuff. I was in charge of the liquor, of course, right? Why'd they make me in charge of the liquor? So I got all this liquor. Like I literally bought up the bar and like they hardly drank any of it. So I was like, Dag, why'd I spend all this money on this liquor? But anyway, so we did that. It was really fun. That was Saturday night. And so, okay, Sunday, I was just gonna like stay in the house, just read, relax. But of course, my girl called me and was like, Nicole, I have extra tickets to brunch at Black Swan. So Black Swan is one of the newer black owned, like elite kind of restaurants in Baltimore. So not in DC, but in Baltimore. And it's so new that you have to, have a reservation to get there. And typically it takes a long time to get a reservation there. So, when she invited me, I was like, I jumped on it because I didn't know when I could get a reservation there. So she's like, how soon can you be ready? Because I'm about to leave. I was like, give me 15 minutes. I'll be ready. So I was literally ready in 15 minutes, couldn't put my eyelashes on, just a mess, but I knew I was going. So jumped in the car, we head over there. We were celebrating one of her girlfriends, just got a new job. She moved to the area from Ohio. So we were like in this separate kind of room from the main room. We were in like a private room, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So I didn't know. Well, I knew that. So last weekend that passed was Preakness in Baltimore, which is an annual, pretty huge horse race. And so I remember on the Frank Ski show, shout out Frank Ski, my boy, Kevin Lyles was telling him and Frank are good friends. He was telling Frank he was really trying to make Preakness in Baltimore, because he's from Baltimore, like the Black Kentucky Derby, because I think Kentucky Derby was 2 weeks ago. So all of these celebrities were in town and it was like a big game. This was Saturday though. So Sunday at it was Kevin Lyles wound up being there. Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club.
Oh,
She
wow.
was there. She was debuting. She has a coffee line. So the restaurant was carrying her coffee. Angela Lee was there. The Attorney General for Maryland, Marilyn Mosley was there. So we're like all in our little section though, minding our business, but the DJ was really good. So every time, it was like 7 of us girls. So every time a song came on, we couldn't even eat. We getting up and dancing and screaming and just going crazy. So next thing we know, Angela Yee coming there to party with us. Kevin Lyles came in there a few times to party with us. Marilyn Mosley. So we just were partying our little hearts out
Wow.
yesterday, just random fun. We just had a great time. And so yeah, so I think I was home though by 5:30, and I was in the bed immediately thereafter. So still recovering.
Okay.
But it was great. It was a nice weekend. I highly recommend this restaurant. It's called Black Swan, Black owned in Baltimore. And it was nice. It was a nice space.
Okay.
Even the food, even some of the foods, the traditional foods are Black. So like someone ordered like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. The bread was Black. Now, you're thinking, oh, is this burnt? But no, it was not. There was a pancake dish someone had that was all Black. It was not
Really?
burnt. Again, yes, I guess they put food coloring in it to make it Black to represent Black Swan, but it wasn't burnt or anything. So that was different. Had never really seen Black food that wasn't blackened or burnt. So yeah, it was cute. It was a cute little place.
Okay. All right. Well. that sounds quite interesting. I don't know
Yeah,
how black
yes,
toast
that's a different concept,
sounds.
right? The food, some of the food is black. Yes,
I don't know
very
if I want
different.
black toast and black pancakes, but
Yeah,
okay.
right, because you're thinking it's ruined.
Right, yeah. So, well, I had a pretty good weekend as well. We had brunch at a restaurant in downtown Chicago. I have a private group on Facebook, and so we do have conversations in the group, but we get together a lot as well.
Oh,
And one of
yeah.
the things that we were doing is brunches. We do a brunch once a month. And when COVID hit, of course, we had to stop because Chicago was probably on the biggest lockdown. I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then 2021, they were just barely opened, and we didn't really get to do a brunch then either because then, you had to have your Vax card, and they just had all kind of stipulations. So we didn't do any brunches then. So this is our first one in like 2 years. We just did our first
Oh,
one in like 2 years, and
wow.
it was a
That's so
really
much.
nice turnout. We had a really good time and stuff. They put all 8 of us at one table. They still have some strict seating policies. Like we had somebody get there late, they wouldn't let her sit with us.
Oh, wow. Don't you? That's so silly when restaurants do that. I hate when they do that.
I hate when they do that too. You got to have your whole party together. Okay, well, stuff happens, and you got 8 of us
Exactly.
here already. You could just leave one chair. Somebody's running late. They're on their way.
Exactly. Like
I
just pull a chair up. There could be an accident. Anything could
Anything
happen.
could happen. So yeah, but it was a great brunch. It was really a great weekend. I'm hoping that some of our listeners caught my podcast, To Meet or Not to Meet. That was quite an intense podcast because both of the guys, one's a naturopath and one's a holistic health practitioner, and they're both very passionate about health and food. Because food affects your health. What you eat or don't
Right.
eat definitely affects your health. And so the debate of to eat meat or not to eat meat, it got a little intense at some points. I'm like,
Oh, really? Over
okay,
meat? You would
okay,
think.
all right, yeah, and sometimes people base a lot of stuff on the Bible, and one of
That's
them
true.
was very biblical with it. And for me, not being Christian, one of the things I said is, so if you're using the Bible as your foundation or your base, what about people who don't believe in the Bible?
Right, because a
So
lot
then
don't.
everything that you're saying kind of becomes irrelevant at that point if your foundation is just the Bible. You have
Hmm.
to have something else other than that. And then the other guy came back and quoted a scripture in one of the books. He quoted the whole thing, and it said that you should bake cow dung into your bread. That came out of the Bible.
What?
It's in the Bible somewhere
Yeah, right.
that
Okay.
you should bake cow dung into your bread. And so, because the other
Yeah.
guy was quoting so much religious, Bible stuff, he's like, so the Bible says you should eat cow dung. So are you going to eat cow dung because the Bible
Because
said
the
so?
Bible said 5,000 million years ago? Like,
And
seriously?
so then the guy was like, no, I'm not going to eat any cow dung. He said, well, the Bible says so. So you're telling us that we have to eat according to what the Bible says. The Bible says that. So, so yeah, it was really a really great conversation. I can't wait to put
Wow.
the replays up and stuff like that. So
Sounds very lively.
it was very lively. It was very lively. So what's going on with some celebrity gossip? I don't know what anybody is doing this week. So
I
it's on you.
know. It's like I don't think that much has gone on that was phenomenal this week. I think one of the Kardashians, what's her name? Courtney got married in Italy to Travis.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, they revealed, and I thought this was so cruel. So the Shade Room revealed, apparently her husband, the DJ Travis Baker, I think, is it Baker or Barker? He released a memoir some years back. And in the memoir, he revealed so he used to date Paris Hilton, I guess, way back in the day. And Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian used to be really best friends way back in the day.
Oh.
And he revealed in the memoir how even while he was with Paris, he secretly had a little crush on Kim.
Oh, wow.
He was talking about how hot she was and this and that in the memoir. And so then next thing we know, he moved to Calabasas, California, where they live. And Chris, their mom, was telling Kourtney, "Oh, Travis loves you so much. He moved to Calabasas," and this is before they even got together. And now, so then the bloggers drug up this excerpt from his memoirs, and they're like, he moves to Calabasas to get closer to Kim, not to get close to Kourtney. But I think Kim started dating Kanye at around the time he broke up with whoever he was with. So he couldn't date Kim. And so now they're like, well, Kourtney was who he had to settle for because Kim was unavailable.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, that is so mean. He never said this, though, so we can't go off of that. So yeah, I thought that was crazy. Let's see.
That sounds very crazy.
Yes, I mean, every guy, I guess, had a crush on Kim at some point. So, he probably did have a crush on her. Maybe not enough to act on it.
Right. Yeah, we often have crushes on people and we don't act on it. And sometimes it's good when you don't act on it because it can cause a very uncomfortable situation.
Exactly. And sometimes it's not even, maybe it's just like admiration from afar. Like, oh, I think this person is attractive, but it may not be, enough to pursue.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hopefully it was just one of those type of things.
Oh, the only thing I do know is that it was Janet Jackson's birthday and her and the little short dude, Jermaine Dupri was hanging out together.
Were they? I didn't see that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I heard that. I remember hearing about that. I think she turned 56 and they were somewhere.
Oh my God, 56?
Yep, she's 56.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, Rihanna had her baby. Her and A$AP Rocky had a baby boy. I don't know why I thought they were having a girl. From some of the things she was saying in interviews, I thought it was a girl, but maybe she was throwing off the trail.
Could be.
Yes, so we haven't seen baby boy yet, but I'm sure he's adorable. LeBron James's son was in the blogs with a little controversy because he took his little white girlfriend to prom, his oldest boy.
Oh, that's what that was about.
Yes. And it's like one of those things where, you kind of hate to see it in a way. However, they're so wealthy. They're, I'm sure he's at the best of the best private school where there's 0 Black girls or 2, at best.
Yes. Yep.
So when they're in those circles, there's not many Black young ladies around to choose from. So
absolutely. I had
can't expect them to be
who were athletes. And that's one of the things, when we talk about, dating within the culture or whatever. And they were like, oftentimes where we're at, there are no Black women.
Yeah, that's the sad part. They're
what
just not
every day is white women. And so that's what you see every day. And what are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to?
Exactly. And they've gone to elementary through high school with these girls.
Right.
So it's like like you said, they have no other choice.
It's kind of when my youngest daughter was getting ready to go to high school, there was she tested really high. And so here in Milwaukee, I wanted to send her to one of the better schools, and she got accepted at a really prominent high-end school here. And of the hundreds of students, there generally was only about 9 Blacks.
Yeah, out of hundreds.
And so, out of hundreds. And so I chose not to send her there because I felt like, her years in high school were not only academic. Now, it was a great education. But I feel it's not only academic, but it's also social adjustment, like if I send her there, it's unavoidable that she's going to date somebody else.
It's so true. No, and we always have this debate in that truth. And I feel so bad for Black parents because a lot of times in certain areas, the best schools academically just are not multicultural.
They aren't.
It's like you're faced with, as a parent, you're faced with a choice. So you're actually maybe one of the few parents that I've heard that said they chose to not send their child,
I sent her to a private Catholic school. However, the area that it was in, it was more mixed.
Okay. See, at least there's some multiculturalism.
Yes, absolutely. I would never I would not condone just the all Black setting. I mean, unless it was a, historically Black college, because at that point you kind of are who you are, still growing, but kind of who you are and learning to function. But I think in grammar school and high school and stuff, I think you do need to be able to adjust to other cultures and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's the world we live in.
Right. It's a multicultural world.
Absolutely.
I remember my dad knew someone when I was in, I think, high school, who was going to like get me into Sidwell Friends School, which is like a prominent school here in DC. The Obama girls went there. And I was just so dead set against going there because I was like, no, I want to be with my friends. I don't want to go there with those bougie rich kids. And here's the irony of life. So so this was in high school, 10, 12 years later, I wound up working there. I was, oh my God, what are the odds that I'm working at Sidwell Friends? I'm looking at Malia Obama at lunch every day in the cafeteria because she was a student there at that time. And so while I was there working there, I'm like, oh, it was actually a little more diverse than I thought it was. When my dad was trying to get me there in high school, we had never visited the campus or anything. But when I worked there, I was like, oh, this is not like all white. There are other races in the school. I'm like, I totally should have gone here. It's probably $40,000 a year. Like, I think they were going to get me in there on a scholarship or something. So looking back, I'm like, Dad, why you didn't make me go? And he was like, I tried to tell you, you didn't want to listen. So
yeah,
but no, it is important to me. I don't really like Black children in all white spaces. I think mixed spaces are really good, but I just keep hearing so many horror stories, and I don't see it as being a healthy thing to me.
I don't either. I think that your social development is just as important as your academic development.
Yeah, it really affects their self-esteem. Gabrielle Union talked about it a lot in her first memoir. Like, it really messes you up self-esteem wise too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she talked about it extensively. Yeah, because she was always the only Black girl in her private classes, and they don't like you. They don't choose you.
Yeah.
And she felt some type of way,
I can only imagine. That would be kind of lonely and isolated.
It was. She did feel different. She felt weird, outcast. She felt like an outcast. The boys didn't like her because she was Black, and she's beautiful, but they didn't want a Black girl.
Right.
So yeah, and then she struggled with identity. How does she fit in? I think she had some Black family she would visit in the summer that was in the hood. So she had a little bit of hood cred in the summer, but then when she went back to school, it was an entirely different space. So yeah, I just don't like it.
Yeah, that sounds tough. That definitely could cause an identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you started watching Married
Oh my God, what am I watching? So wait, let me make sure I'm watching the most recent one. So I just went on demand. Is it season 14? What season is this? No, is it the one with the young lady who basically hated her husband after the wedding?
The one I watched was season 10.
I don't know. Who are the characters? Is it, so the one I'm watching now, one of the girls, she's a complete train wreck. She like went crazy on the husband on the night of the wedding. I think she just wasn't attracted to him, but she couldn't articulate that. So it became her demonizing him. And then there's a lot of the women this season are kind of mean. There's a Black young lady. She said her vagina doesn't get wet for her husband, which I could tell by the way she was treating him. She was so mean to him.
Wow. Okay.
I wonder if it's the same one. It's so crazy. And then there's another Black couple where the guy is like, if you don't cook or clean, he's like making this cooking and cleaning a huge deal.
Wow.
The wife is breaking down. One of the therapists was like, okay, sir, can you calm? Like, why is this cooking and cleaning in your mind like what makes a marriage? She's like, is there anything else that makes a marriage? Like, can you get to the root of where you're getting this from? And he couldn't articulate why that was a deal breaker for him.
Wow.
So it sounds like maybe a different one.
It is a different one. And the thing that's so funny though, when you watch these shows, you just clearly see why these people had not been married up until this point. Right. And though they may sound good on paper, you still come with different attitudes and things that you can't get across on paper. You have to experience it. So I started watching and this should be your next one.
Yes.
If you don't, this one. I started watching this show called 7 Year Switch.
Haven't heard of that one.
So these couples are actually already married. Okay. And so
Oh.
they had to obviously do a lot of researching and matching on this one. So they have 4 couples, and
Okay.
each of the people, and the couples are on the verge of divorce. One couple is actually already separated, but they went on this as a last effort to try and learn maybe how they can interact with their mate better. And so
Right.
they found these couples, and the husband of the other couple is actually what the wife thinks she wants.
Oh no.
And
That sounds like
the
a
wife
disaster.
of the other couple is actually what the husband thinks. So they matched them up that way. And so then they separate them and put the other couples, the ones that think that. So they said the concept is the grass is greener, because we always think the grass is greener. So if you
Right. And
had
the 7
somebody
years,
that was
they say
more
after
like
7
you
years.
and more fun, or you had somebody that was more structured, or you had somebody that would get up in the morning early and go, work out with you and stuff, because a lot of people, nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to be everything you want.
No.
And sometimes you get married and nobody's going to be everything you want, but sometimes you learn that some things are really more important to you than you thought they were.
Right.
And so, man, yeah, this one chick, and she's religious. And so her husband started off, being in the church and stuff, but he just kind of got away from it. He just grew out of it. Other things became more important to him, but she is judgmental and just, if he can't put God first in his life, then she doesn't know if she can be with him. And it's a deal. I mean,
What?
I hope she watches this show. When they watch the show, I really hope that gives them like an eye opener, because as I'm watching, I'm like, girl, you are straight gonna drive that man away. But unless he has God first in his life, I guess she don't want him. So
Whoa. It's so weird to me when women say that, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what that looks like, number one. Number two, did you not know this before you married him? Like, what was happening?
And so here's the thing that they're trying to tell her, she's like, well, when we first got married, they've been together for 10 years. So when they first got together, he was in the church. But here's the thing, people change.
That is true. And you have to give people grace to change.
People change, and you may not always like it. And this is another reason why, last few years I've been saying, sometimes your marriage is just for a certain period of time. It's that time that you're supposed to be in that situation to get whatever experience or lesson you're supposed to get, and then you move on. This whole thing that is forever.
I don't believe in that.
Your life.
No, I don't believe in that.
We have so many people
people change, and it's everyone's fault, and it's a lot of times it's not either of their fault.
So many of our elders stayed in marriages for
miserable
life, and were miserable
and getting abused and not fulfilled and whatever other case,
just dealing with all type of disrespect and degradation and judgment and all kind of stuff, and
it's not fair. And the Bible even talks to your spouse. The Bible even literally there's this passage, I can't remember which one. It says, wives, essentially it's saying, wives, you do not have to beat your husband over the head if he's a non-believer. Let your love for Christ shine through and win him over. It's something like that. Like essentially, you just need to live for Christ, and your way of living will eventually win him over. And it may or it may not, but the Bible does say you do not have to browbeat your spouse into submission if he's a non-believer.
Or she, because if I were to marry, the thing about not being Christian, Christians feel like if you're not Christian, then there's something wrong with you.
And the Bible doesn't even really say that.
That's the whole problem with it, because I've met a lot of people who were not Christians, including myself, and we are far less judgmental and more accepting of everybody, and they say Christianity is about love, or Jesus, God is supposed to be about love, but they are the least loving.
Absolutely.
And the
very
most
critical, sometimes very mean to people.
if I were to start dating a guy who was Christian, and see, I don't have any problem with you being whoever you are. I can
Right.
accept you for whoever you are.
Right.
Just don't expect me to be who you
Right.
are. You have to accept me as I am. I don't even have a problem going to church. You just got to not be mad if I fall asleep or laugh.
You said if I fall asleep or laugh. Actually, yeah, they might be a little mad if you do that. Just a little. Just a little.
I was very into the church at one point in my life, but when
Yeah,
you
I
learn
remember.
stuff, you have a different viewpoint of stuff. So, if they say certain things, I might be like, okay, now that is just so wrong. But anyway, I'm not gonna say it out
Oh,
loud.
I agree with that. No, I'm at a point where I feel like I'm like you. I don't care. I really don't care what people believe in. Just don't beat me over the head with whatever you're doing, and I will do the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this 7-year switch is actually on Hulu. Do you have Hulu?
Oh, I do have Hulu. Haven't I heard of that though? There's something
Okay.
else on there called Candy I wanted to watch. So now I have to put the 7-year switch on my list.
Yes, definitely watch that. And you'll know the chick right away, because she is, but it's really interesting because her husband, so they switched him with a woman that was more like him, just kind of fun loving and outgoing and, a lot more laid back, not so tense and high strung or whatever, judgmental and stuff. And I think those two may have actually fallen in love. I'm on the
Uh-oh, I
part
think
where
her
they
phone died.
kind of where what happened? She left me. Did she say her house was on fire?
I can hear you. What happened? You went out.
Oh, you disappeared off the
You
screen. I'm
did
like, what
too.
happened? I thought
You
you
did
said,
hello, your phone died. I was like, oh, your phone died.
what's so funny? It's how you said, oh, my house is on fire. And then you
Oh no, I would have hung up the phone.
like, what?
No, I was like, hello, I guess her phone died.
No, I'm on the computer. Yeah, so
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah, I'm on a laptop.
I
So,
had a bad connection.
and everything's plugged up. I keep everything plugged up. But yeah, so I think her husband and the lady that they switched with, I think they fell in love. And what's so interesting is so it's two couples and they switched the husband and wife. So like she was with the other lady's husband, and so the other lady's husband did not fall in love with her because she just is who she is. She's real standoffish and stuff. The other guy, they formed a bond to like help them grow in this experience to try and help their marriage, but they definitely didn't fall in love. He was looking forward to getting back to his wife, but his wife, I think, fell in love with old girl.
What?
I don't know how. I think they actually fell in love during this thing.
Wait, his wife fell in love with the other wife?
So, okay, the one, let's say the one wife's name is Jackie, the one that is
right.
Okay, and let's say her husband's name is Paul, right? And so let's say the other lady's name is Evelyn, and the other husband's name is Bob. So Jackie is the one that's into religion, and Jackie is married to Paul, and Paul is kind of a stickler too, but he's not religious.
Okay.
So Evelyn is the one that is, so Jackie is married to Bob. Okay.
Jackie.
Bob. Okay. And Bob is the one that's married to the one that's religious. So Jackie is religious and she's married to Bob, who's not religious, right?
Right. Okay.
Got that. So, but Jackie is actually married to Paul. Okay. Evelyn is the one that fit with Jackie's actual husband, Paul. And so I think Evelyn and Paul fell in love with each other because they both are kind of like the laid back people. So they're married to other people, but they fell in love with each other during the switch.
Right, because like you said, they're more laid back.
And they both are like that. So they're both back with, Paul is back with his, religious wife, and Bob is back with Evelyn, but Bob was the one that was kind of a stickler. And so they both are a little standoffish from their actual husband and wife. And they're sitting there, they were playing the videos from it. And when they saw like when Evelyn was sitting there watching the videos of her with, the other woman's husband, she started smiling because they had a good time together. And he did the same thing. They were like really glad to see just the video. They both were about to cry when they, left. They were together for 2 weeks. When they left, they were both like on the verge of tears. And she said, it's really weird to be crying because I'm leaving another woman's husband. But they were more compatible. Right.
Why play with fire? I would never do some mess like that.
And she said, I'm wondering if I married the wrong man. Would I be?
It sounds like it now.
Would I have been happier married to somebody else? And I when I read some couples talking about their relationships, sometimes I wonder if people get into relationships because they really just want to be in a relationship or a marriage, or is that really their person?
But like you said, we evolve and change so much over the years. Each decade, we're different. Like what we liked in the 20s could be different from the 30s, could be different from the 40s, could be different. So some of it just might be our evolution.
It is. That definitely is part of it.
So that's the messed up part. Like, okay, we were young, we married at 22, 25. Okay, but at 35, 45, I'm someone else now. So then what?
Yes. And that's why I don't understand how we got this whole thing. Oh, you get married and it's for life. I mean, for some people that works and they can be happy with
some couples it
does. That is not actually the majority. The majority of people get divorced.
No, that's so true. But also, do you think it also could be an internal thing? Like maybe the mindset should also be, and I think Will and Jada, as messed up as they are, they used to always say, it's not my job to make you happy and vice versa. Like, is there a point where couples can get to that place where we can say, you know what, I like you as a person. And so maybe some days I don't like you as a person, but for the most part, I like you, but I don't no longer need you to make me happy. Like I found some other joys to life. And this doesn't mean that I don't want to enjoy life with you. However, if you don't butter your toast the way I do, I don't really care anymore. Or if you don't like to go to the movies, but I do, I don't really care. Now, there's something else maybe that we can do together, but where is this notion coming from that this person is going to be the sun, the moon, and the stars for us forever? And it might not mean we have to break up. It just might mean I can learn that there's other things in life that can bring me joy. And you are still my friend and my partner, but we don't have to like everything together the same. I just think we put too much emphasis on this other person has to be everything to us, or we have to always like the same things. No, we don't.
I kind of think that that's sort of where polygamy comes in, even though in general, it's kind of seen as a thing for men to have multiple women. But I don't see it that way. I mean, it's either we both are doing it or nobody's doing it. But I think
that's how I see it too. Let's just both do it if we agree to this.
Right. No one person is going to ever be everything.
No.
And like we're talking about, people are going to change over time. They said it on the show, 5 years from now, he's going to be somebody else. 10 years from now, he's going to be yet somebody else even more, because when I look back at who I was at, 25, 26, I'm definitely a different person from then.
Exactly. I am too.
Right.
And it's like, I don't need the same amount of attention. I don't need, I want us to have something, I want us to have one thing at least that we enjoy doing together, but I don't need it to be like everything. And I think it's okay for us to have separate interests.
Like I was talking about my friend that's really intelligent. I like to talk to him because he's interested in so many different things, from music to just like so many different things. So it's intriguing to me because I like it when people can teach me something, And so I like talking to him.
I love that too.
But then I have a whole different friend that I like to go dance with. He likes house music and stuff, and he likes to dance and everything. And so I like to dance with him, And
exactly.
I have yet another friend that I like to go eat with because he likes to go, he's like a foodie. And so he's like, let's go here because I know you would like this. He kind of knows what I like to eat, so
absolutely.
And it's not even about a sexual relationship, because
No,
relationships are definitely more than sex. But
it is.
there might be somebody that I would like to have sex with. It might
There
be
might
somebody.
be, right. Well, maybe that's just what y'all do.
Right, that's what we do. Maybe we get together
Y'all
after I
might not
went to
go out and
dinner,
dance.
and I go, and he don't even have to talk to me, because I could talk to the
Right.
other guy. I could go dance with the other guy, go eat with the other guy. So he don't even have to say nothing. Just do what you do and be quiet before you mess it up.
See, X, you're like me. I can date people for different reasons, and I also understand a lot of men are that way, it seems.
Yes.
And so I totally understand how some men really have a problem finding one woman to settle down with, because there's so many flavors and varieties
Man, I
that
tell
you
you,
can get different experiences from. So then it becomes a situation of, how do you choose just one if there's 3 or 4 that you like for different reasons?
when I was in my early 20s, before I met my husband, I lived in Atlanta, and I was single for the
Mhm.
first time since I was 15 in
Yes.
Atlanta. And I was dating. Man,
Yes.
it was just so many interesting people, because the college is
Yeah.
there too. You got
Oh,
Morehouse
yeah.
there. You
Oh,
got
Atlanta
college.
was the Mecca. Well, it
It
still
was
is the
just
Mecca.
it was just so many freaking men. And I was
Yes.
just like, oh my God, this is like amazing.
How do I choose just
How
one?
do I choose just one? And so I couldn't figure out a reason why I had to choose just one.
Exactly. I've definitely had those moments in dating too. I guess maybe for some of us, we will pick one when there ain't not when the interesting people have left the building, when there aren't a whole bunch of interesting people anymore.
And
Then you kind of want to maybe gravitate towards one.
so my husband just kind of narrowed it down, because he was dating too. He
Yeah.
was dating
Oh,
too.
he told you.
And
He told
so
you that you
then
met.
we
He
met
told
each other, and he
you.
decided that I was for him. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
agree with that at first, and
Right.
he wasn't worried about it. He said, because in the end it was gonna be me and him. And
Ah,
over
yeah, he
time,
was good.
he just showed himself to be that one. And so I did wind up eliminating the rest of them, because they just didn't measure up. So
To him, right.
that's how I wound up married. But while
Right.
I was dating, and when you're dating, you kind of find yourself, because there's so many different experiences to have, and so many different conversations to have, and you start
Right.
to learn what you really do like, because
Ex-
you're young, you don't know nothing.
Exactly. When you're young, you're like you said, you're just starting out. You're figuring out yourself.
Yes. Yes, you're figuring out yourself. And so while dating, other people have had different experiences, and so they expose you to what they know. Now you know that too.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. And it's fascinating.
it is fascinating. It is fascinating.
But
So,
like you said, you're kind of just like, why do I have to choose just one? I've definitely had that happen to me a few times where I'm like, I don't want to choose. I
and I've said
don't
several
want to choose
times,
just one.
I've said several times, and sometimes I say it as if I'm joking, but I'm not really joking. I think to have three,
Yeah.
I,
No, I'm with you, X. I could handle 3.
I think three would be a
Well,
good
3
number.
can be a bit much sometimes, because then the men start to get jealous and they want to spend time with you. And you're like, oh, sorry, I'm with, 3. I could probably do 3 if one was out of state.
I think I could do three, and it's really, you just put it back, it's really okay. Whoever comes up with the most exciting thing for us to do, then that's who's
Exactly.
gonna get that time, and it can't just be,
Exactly.
about a sexual thing. It has to be,
No,
let's
other
have,
thing.
let's grow, let's have fun. So, maybe I'm taking some kind of class with one, or maybe, it's some type of house music thing that I never
With the
experienced,
other.
or whatever, but yeah, I think three is a good number,
No, I
definitely.
love rotational dating. I feel like I always say, if women, I think the reason why some women are so against it is because they've never encountered more than one guy that they like at a time. A lot of women, I have heard women tell me, well, I like him, so I don't like dating a whole bunch of different people. I just want to concentrate on him. And I'm like, you don't even know that there's could be someone else even equally interesting, but in another way, because you won't open yourself up to meeting anyone else. Like, I know women that cut off other guys even when they're not in a relationship, like, which is crazy to me. Like, hold on one second. This man is not even your man. Like, he's not even claiming you, and you're not dating other men. Why?
Yeah, I don't get
Now
that.
that piece I don't understand. Now I do understand sometimes there's a drought, right? That's the why I hate when yes, women should rotational date, but the reality is sometimes there's not a whole bunch of interesting men around.
That's true too.
Even I have been in a drought where, okay, there's men like around, but I'm not totally interested in all of them, you know.
Exactly. I feel you.
So that, I mean, sometimes it's just that. It's not that I don't want to rotational date. It's just the crop right now may not be really what I'm into.
Yeah, I used to post in the group. You probably remember when I did a dating thing or whatever. I can't remember what I called dating chronicles or whatever. And I called it a batch. So
yes, a batch. Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
you get a new batch.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a new batch.
But then sometimes you are in a drought where there's just nobody that you like. There is not, doesn't mean that there's not men around that are interested.
Right.
That there's not any around that you're interested in.
Exactly. So now I can't really rotational date like, oh, you know, you can't really do it like you want to because you really don't like these people that much.
Exactly. So,
but that's why I say, though, I think certain women have not ever even encountered a batch that they liked the entire batch. Right. So that's why the concept of rotation dating for those women is way too foreign because they don't even know what that feels like. And I'm like, oh no, sweetie, please taste. I always say, I wish every woman could experience a good batch once in her lifetime.
Yeah, everybody need a good batch.
Because then you understand what it is. You understand even men better. You understand why the men can't choose because the men have a good batch of women that they like all the women. Mm-hmm. But if you've never experienced that, you don't really understand what that feels like.
Now, you know, there are some people I believe that are more monogamous than others. So there are people listening to this show right now and they're just like, I don't want to be bothered with all those personalities. So for those people,
that's what they say.
Live your best life as well. If having one person is what really gets you and you're just satisfied with that, then do that. But you know,
but also make sure that one person likes you back, though, because what I'm seeing, these people, they're saying, oh, I don't like all the different personalities. So they cling onto the one person who don't like them.
Yeah.
And to me, that I understand you don't like the different personalities, but I feel like it's very dangerous to cling to one person that does not like you the same way.
Yeah, that is pretty dangerous and painful.
You're clinging to them for dear life because you refuse to go out there because you like them so much. Okay, that's great, but do they like you so much?
What I would like to do is have a society where we are accepting of people telling their truth.
Yeah.
So if I meet somebody and I say, hey, you know, I'm not really monogamous, you know, maybe down the road, depending on how things go, you know, that might be something we could explore. But at this point, you know, I'm going to date others and you should probably date others too. And they accept that truth, you know, or if I meet a guy and he says, you know, hey, well, I'm just really monogamous and I want it to just be me and you, you know, and give me that option to say, okay, well, I can do that or not, you know, but we need to learn how to.
Some people do it, right? Now, the unfortunate piece, sometimes people will do it, though, after you have already caught feelings for them. And then that person will say, oh, by the way, I'm dating other people or I want to date other people.
Oh, yeah, well, that would really suck.
Okay, but I already like you by now and you know this.
Yeah, we need to be able to.
I have a friend dealing with that now. One of my best guy friends is dealing with that, and he's dating one of my girls, and it's putting me in a sticky situation in a sense.
Oh.
Because she's calling me, like, you know, talking about him, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I know what's going on with him, but I can't betray his trust and tell her. But I'm like, baby girl, I just told her straight up, well, have you clarified with him y'all relationship status? Because if he, in his mind, is single, then that may explain some of the movements that he's making. Mm-hmm. And it's like her brain can't put two and two together that he has other women that he's dating. In her mind, well, I don't understand why he doesn't want to see me all the time or why he switched up. And I'm like, sweetheart, you don't know that what this means? Y'all not in a relationship. Clearly he has somebody else. But her brain can't put that two and two together, and he's thinking his actions are showing her, right? For some reason, women need a verbal confirmation, and it's like, okay, he don't hardly see me. We don't talk that much on the phone. We're not having that much sex. Why do we need a verbal confirmation of the obvious? Their actions always show us.
You know, and that's the thing. We always talk about communication, but there are different forms of communication.
Yes, that's the nonverbal. That's the nonverbal communication. Exactly. You can't pick up the context clues.
Exactly. You know, if you're talking to me and I turn my back to you, I probably don't need to tell you that I'm not listening to you.
Right. Or I cover my ears, like.
Right. Do I really need to state the obvious?
And I think that's where a lot of men struggle, because one, they don't want to ruin what they have going with a certain woman sometimes. Two, they also don't want to hurt the woman's feelings straight out. You know, to say, hey, you're great, but basically you're great, but I'm still exploring my options.
I want to see if there's something greater.
So yes, I think women, I want us to be better at picking up the nonverbals and not always needing a verbal rejection. Sometimes you have to understand what's happening because you've been through life experiences. At a certain age, you should have gone through some things. And now you should be able to bow out gracefully if you don't like that behavior, or you can continue to do what you do and just know it's going to be limited.
And sometimes people don't give you that verbal confirmation, because I've been guilty of it a few times, because you already know it's going to turn into one of them pleading type situations. Like, why? You should just try a little harder, you know, and I'll do this and make this change. And you already know. Even when they start saying that, you just like, that kind of is a turnoff in itself, because I'm already distancing myself. You should have picked up on that, and you should be able to be like, okay,
it's almost like
not that interested.
Like, keep your dignity.
You know, and the thing about it is, sometimes if the guy just kind of walked away, then might have been like, oh. It's okay. Well, maybe. Okay, listen, I'm gonna call you tonight.
I definitely had a guy do that to me fairly recently. He was putting in work, and I guess he picked up like, okay, she ain't feeling me the same, so I'm gonna fall off the radar. And sure enough, I was like, oh, hello, are you okay? Just checking in. But I admired his gangster because he didn't go out like no sucker, right? He didn't beg, he didn't plead. He just went off the map.
Like, okay.
And I couldn't even be mad at him because I knew I wasn't really giving him that much. So I wasn't even mad at him, but it made me respect him more.
Yes.
Because he just bowed out gracefully. We didn't have to have a conversation. He didn't beg me. He didn't cry. He just picked up on my vibe and kind of fell back. And just fall back. And then, like you said, see how they come back to you.
Girl, my thing is, if I'm not getting the same vibe, I'm not getting the same feeling, don't call me back. Don't text me. Don't call me back. You will never hear from me again, because I'm surely not going to.
Exactly. Well, and then on the flip, I had another guy that I was kind of feeling, and he was the one, gaming me. He was gaming me, right? Oh, you got me open. I'm wide open. All that crazy talk. And so, but then I noticed, okay, well, we're going on these great dates, but I'm not really hearing from you outside of that, the dates. So I just shut up. I didn't say nothing. I just shut up. And I fell back. And so, I don't initiate contact. Now he will initiate every now and then, and I respond to be nice because I've already checked out emotionally. I'm checked out. So I can respond back to a text. How's your day? Great. Thank you. That's it. And then when I don't want to talk to him ever again, I won't respond at all. So yeah, it's just picking up on the energies. Energies don't lie. I always say, for me, I don't like verbal rejection. So for me, I can pick up on the vibe, and I'll just remove myself.
And the thing about it is, sometimes
in a relationship, if you're in a committed, exclusive relationship or a marriage, yes, let's have some communication.
Oh yeah, you got.
But if we're just kind of like kicking it in casual dating, you ain't got to reject me verbally. I can tell by how you're treating me. You don't like me. Okay.
Some men will give you that time and attention just so they can string you on. They just want to put you on the roster, so they can circle around a few times and
Exactly. So when they're done doing whatever with whoever else,
Mm-hmm.
then, oh, okay, I got you as my backup because you on my back burner.
Or you might be the trophy, you know.
Yeah, you never know. Exactly. You never know. So maybe he had loose ends before he met me or whatever, but that's why I hesitate. I'm not okay. I feel like if I haven't slept with you, I don't really care what you're trying to
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's not going down anyway.
If we ain't haven't done that, then that's very optional.
Exactly. Exactly. You said very optional. I like
That's
that
very
word.
optional.
Very
We ain't got to
optional.
talk. You can just disappear. I might even forget that you were there.
We gotta talk to me. Right. We ain't gotta talk because we haven't done anything.
We ain't done nothing. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, just nonverbal communication is communication. Let's talk about that piece a little bit more. And people need to walk through rejection in their heads.
You know, I almost think that I need to move you from what's hot to girl talk. I need to give you like
yes, I think you do. Oh, you should ask. Oh, that would be great. I have so much material from not even wait, it's not even my life, it's other people's life. Okay, I'm telling my girls, I'm like, oh, I'm living vicariously through y'all, child. I don't have no drama. For once in my life, I ain't got no drama.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that. Maybe I'll give you your own say. We could do a girl talk and just talk about what is what's going on with relationships.
All the people dating now. What are the new dating trends?
Yep,
What am I? What am I hearing on the streets? What's words on the dating streets?
Yep. What's the word on the dating streets? And maybe we can bring some couples on.
And the women, right? Because it's not just women having some issues. The men are having some problems too.
Yeah, and maybe we could bring some couples on, and they might be having some problems.
Yes, because Andre just got engaged from that.
I saw that.
Yes, he told me last Friday. I thought he was gonna do it later on. I didn't realize he was doing it today. So yes, I said, Andre, I haven't even met this girlfriend yet.
Oh, you haven't even met her?
He has a girlfriend, so I just stopped like even asking him about them. But I think but this one he's had for a little minute now, so that's good with him.
A little minute, but they're engaged. How little is the minute?
Maybe 2 years, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is great. That's Andre be loving them and leaving them, honey. So this is a long time for him.
Yeah, we might have to bring him on so he can tell us how did
we actually should bring him on so we can figure out his process on this one.
How did you know this one was the one, since you love him and leave him? What made you love her and let her stay?
Yes, I think he would do it too. He would come.
Cool. So what's going on in DC? We're actually coming up on an hour already. That's why I said
this is why we need to do the girl talk segment. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this weekend, as you know, is Memorial Weekend. So it's going to be on and popping this weekend. Every venue is going to be lit. Saturday, I know at the Howard Theater, they have this, every month, once a month, we have this R&B party called The Set. And so the DJ set is really like all kind of 90s R&B. So it's all R&B music, more so than hip hop.
Okay.
So that's Saturday. That's going to be Saturday at the Howard Theater. Saturday and Sunday is the Linganore Reggae Wine Festival that I absolutely love in Mount Airy, Maryland. I want to say it's sold out because I didn't even get a ticket. So I think it's sold out, but that's a really popular event. It's outside. It's reggae, live reggae bands. It's a vineyard, so you can buy your wine, you bring your tent or your chair, and you just post up and dance all day long and listen to the music. It's a really nice event. That's Saturday and Sunday. I think the pools are opening this weekend, Memorial Day. So I think there's going to be a lot of pool parties at all of the local hotels. So yeah, I just think the city will be on fire this weekend.
Oh, it sounds like it. That sounds like so much fun. Mm-hmm. I'd be forgetting about Memorial Day.
I know, me too. And last year, Memorial was kind of a wash. Things were still so restricted due to COVID. So DC is kind of wide open now. So things are going to be crazy this weekend.
Oh man, I need to come to DC.
Yes, you do before summer's over.
I definitely do, because you guys have weather just like ours. So I definitely have to come there in the summer so I can enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, lady. Well, you got any final stuff for us? We've talked about everything at this point.
Yes, as usual, right?
Yes.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay hydrated. Get those workouts in, because y'all not gonna catch me slipping this summer.
Absolutely. I've been doing my crunches too.
Exactly. I'm just crunching it out.
Gotta make it hot, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, girly. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and
Okay, you
I'll
too.
chat with you next week.
Okay, X, have a good one.
You have a good
Okay.
one as well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Later.